guys, what's going on? It's Catman227 here, and I'm bringing you guys the first episode of Dead by Daylight Killer Tutorial. Now, we're going to be going over the Ghostface in this one. I was going to start with the Trapper, but I think I'm going to start with Ghostface first, just because he's my best killer, and he's just the one I feel most confident in using. So, first thing we see a Jake and a Fingming, which means both those people are going to be able to flank, and they're going to be able to try to outrun us. Now, another thing you need to pay attention to are these right here. 9 out of 10 times, these things are just going to be like blood points or whatever, but you need to pay close attention to the offerings, because sometimes the offerings will fuck you over more than they'll help you, so do pay attention to those. Now, Ghostface is different from most of the other killers. I'll go over some of the basics of killer during this episode, and then, you just have to keep in mind, because I'm not going to mention some of this stuff in every episode. So obviously, if you hold your melee attack button, you do a lunge attack, instead of just a normal quick melee. Now, there are a couple of times where you're going to want to use this. You're going to want to use the quick melee whenever they're like point blank next to you and you just need to hurry up and hit them. But if you're chasing them and they're kind of outflanking you a bit, then you might need to hold it to lunge forward a bit just to kind of get them, which you'll see me demonstrating here. Now, Ghostface, I'll show off the perks at the end of the video, but with Ghostface, you need to make sure you have your stealth mode active pretty much all the time. The way to do this is to crouch. So whenever you crouch, you can enter stealth mode, because if you crouch, it's much easier for you to sneak around and not get seen. So, and obviously, you go around, you kick gens, you kick pallets, stuff like that. But that's just basic stuff, okay? Anytime you see like a generator or whatever, just kick it. Anytime there's a pallet being thrown down, break the pallet, okay? Simple stuff. I'm not going to mention that, or the like those two things, or the lunge attack in every episode. That's just something you have to remember as we continue forward. But with Ghostface, make sure to keep your stealth mode active as much as possible. There is a charge meter by his little face in the corner down there, which you'll see like next to your add-ons and stuff like that. But once it's fully active again, once the cooldown resets, go into stealth mode and crouch, because it's really hard for them to see you. Plus, if you're in stealth mode, you don't make a heartbeat, so obviously they don't know where you are until you basically hit them, or they just physically see you. But you see, this Fingming has no idea I came up on her, because I was in stealth mode and I was crouched. Then I just came up from around the corner and stabbed her in the back, which that was the lunge attack. You do that by holding the melee attack button. I don't know what it is on PC, because I don't play on PC, but yeah, I did miss that because I thought she was going to go for the pallet drop and she didn't. But yeah, see, you do kind of, like, there is a range limit, but I do have a perk that extends it forward, which is that the one at the top. So then you put her on a hook. Now, this is where hooking prioritization is key. So what you want to do is, obviously, if you're in stealth mode, you want to sneak around the map and you want to catch people off guard. Now, Ghostface also has this perk which, allows him to, it's called I'm All Ears, basically, and I'm All Ears is a perk that if they see you, it kind of makes like a spider sense in a way. Like, you'll see some little white lines on the side of the screen, and that'll indicate where they're looking at you from. And if they're looking at you long enough, they'll start glowing red, and you can see them through walls and stuff. Okay, so that person, that little icon you just saw pop up, that is basically whenever somebody unhooks. So I don't know what this Claudette was doing. She was just kind of standing there being stupid. But yeah, I just hooked her. Now, obviously, she unhooked the Fingming that I had put on the hook previously. So I went ahead and put her on the hook. I cut that part out because you didn't need to see that. But yeah, that same icon that you saw whenever the Claudette unhooked Fing Ming is, it shows up whenever they blow up a generator or if they unhook somebody. See, they did it again. So now the Claudette's off. Now, hooking priorities. It's anyone who can flank. So obviously, I want that Fing Ming and that Jake dead. But unfortunately, I went for the swing, but I missed. I was aiming for the Fing Ming, but she let go of the Claudette, and I hit the Claudette instead. But so I just put her back on the hook. But I guess what you could do, because obviously there are generators, and if they're gen rushing, you want to be able to get, survivors killed as soon as possible. So you have to hook people 3 times in order to get the kill. So at least that's what happens a majority of the time. So upon, the third hook, they're dead. Now, if you want to get kills as quickly as possible, tunneling is an option, although, it's kind of a shitty thing to do, but if you're hurting for time, just do it and get it over with. Because if they're only at 2 generators and you've only killed 1 person, yeah, you see what I'm saying? So if they've done, 3 gens and there's 2 left, you don't have much time. So obviously, just tunnel somebody, make sure they get put on the hook. Don't camp. Obviously, camping is not good. Basically, camping is whenever you just stay in the general area. Like, as soon as you hook somebody, just walk away from the hook and try to go find somebody else. That's like the best thing you can do. Plus, it's better to do it that way anyway, because camping will only make you lose. Because obviously, you're staying in one area, you're not hooking other people, and they're just going to gen rush you, and then they're going to escape. But I normally try to go for the injured targets. So, like, obviously if there's one person who's hurt, I'm going to try to hit the person who's not hurt. And then that way, because it takes 2 slashes with your melee weapon in order to down them, unless you have a perk that instant downs them. But 9 out of 10 times, you're going to have to hit them twice for them to go down. So once you hit them once, they go into second state, you hit them twice, they go down, then you put them on a hook. But try to go for the injured targets as much as possible. So try to injure as many people as possible. Just start slashing people. And, let one of them get away. They'll probably go heal, but it's worth the risk. Just hit them, then go find somebody else that's not hurt, hit them, and then just start chasing everybody, down them, and then put them on hooks. Now, here, I'm just looking for the person. Now, there is a perk called Deerstalker, which Deerstalker is anyone who's bleeding out on the ground, you'll be able to see them at all times. Now, obviously, there are items. There is a perk that allows you to, they drop items whenever you're doing that. But whenever you hit them, they'll drop their items. So this person has a med kit. I don't have the perk that makes her drop it. But there is a perk wherever you down them, and then if they get revived, then they don't have their item in their hand. They just lose it. Now, I do have a perk on that, whenever you hook somebody, or is it whenever you down somebody? I can't remember. But one of those, you'll see at the end of the video, that it'll lock off a generator. So those little spider legs will surround the generator, and it won't allow them to be worked on. Now, strafing is what I'm doing here. You see how I'm walking around in circles and trying to get the guy? That's because the killer is slightly faster than the survivor, but only slightly. So just because you can walk faster doesn't mean that they can't outrun you. They can still pallet drop, they can still vault over things, and they can use their surroundings. So like if you lunge and you miss and you hit a tree, well then it stuns you for a couple of seconds and then they can escape. So you kind of have to, it just takes a little bit of practice to not get stuck on the map. But with Ghostface, it's a lot harder to do, simply because of the fact that you have a knife and it's much shorter range. But the fact is, you're also crouching a majority of the time. So Now, what I did there was I saw the guy standing there, and I didn't go near the pallet. So, with all killers, just every killer you should be doing this, is kind of look where they're going. So, don't look where you're going. Don't just visually tunnel one person. You need to look ahead of the survivor you're chasing. Because if you're zoned in on just killing him, then you're going to get pallet dropped a lot. But if you're looking in front of him, if you're looking where he's running to, you can see, oh, he's running next to a hook. I can down him and put him on that hook. You have to have a plan. If you see he's running next to a generator, or not a generator, but a pallet, you can stop slightly before you reach the pallet, and then you won't get stunned. That way you can hurry up, break it, and continue chasing. See, I thought she was going to go for the pallet drop here, but again, she didn't. I don't know why these guys didn't go for the pallet drop, but, whatever. So yeah, I end up killing her. So yeah, that's the lunge attack. So you really got to master that lunge attack, because it really helps when you're in chases, and it'll speed you up quite a bit. So if you need to close the distance, you can just lunge. Every killer has that ability, so you need to utilize it. But with Ghostface, it's pretty straightforward, but also kind of difficult, because whenever you go into stealth mode, obviously it makes you more quiet, so, you're completely silent and nobody can hear you. But the issue is crouching, so nobody can see you. It's very difficult, because, yeah, it locks off visuals from them, but you also can't see over things. So you can't look over, like, brick walls. You can't look over, like, smaller stuff like boxes and, just other obstacles. And obviously grass gets in your face, and it's hard to see. So you kind of do have to be aware of that. I would probably have some perks on. I definitely use I'm All Ears. I'm All Ears is definitely a perk you want for Ghostface, which I do have that on. That's the green one that I have. You definitely want it. Try to get it to level 3 if you can. It's 100% viable in every way, because it reveals their location if they look at you. Now, one thing I have not gone over, which I don't use it very often. I don't use it in this video clip because it's not really something you have to do, and even I don't fully understand how it works. I've read it, I've looked up videos on it, I just don't understand how it works. Whenever you're crouched, you can actually lean around a corner. So, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Rainbow Six Siege, but it's kind of like that, where you can approach an obstacle like a wall or a doorway or something like that, and you can lean to the side, like peek around it. And then you can stalk someone. So there's obviously the stalk button right there that you see at the bottom of the screen. So if you hit the stalk icon, you can build up a stalk meter. Then once you hit level 3, you get a bonus ability. But I've never once got it to work. I certainly don't use it, and I don't see a whole lot of Ghostface players who use it, because it's really just not all that important. As long as you're crouching and you're staying crouched, and you're crouch walking all over the map, and you're in stealth mode, and you're utilizing your lunge attack, that's really all you need. Because I really just don't know what it does. I don't know what the bonus ability does. Alright, so we're going to continue watching this clip right here. That's pretty much all the tips and tricks that I have, but I think it's coming up here in a second. So obviously you saw me hook that guy. There's only 2 people left because I killed the other 2. So obviously this is where, a really important method comes from. So I hook that guy. He's on the hook, or no, he's not on the hook. So whenever there's 2 people left, what you want to do is down both of them like this. So if there's 2 people and you down one of them, don't stick that last guy on the hook, because if he dies, the hatch will open and that last person can get out. So if you just down him and then go chase the other person, down them, they have no chance to get off. So I'm looking for the guy right now. But, Fing Ming, obviously, since they were both downed, I just picked her up, put her on the hook, knowing that guy is also downed and bleeding out. So he's either going to bleed out and die, and I know where the hatch is. So, obviously, I'm looking for the guy because I want to put him on a hook and just, finish the game. But, which there is a couple perks for survivors that do allow them to crawl more quickly, and I think Bill has a perk that allows him to revive himself if he goes down. But this person's not Bill, so I'm not really worried about that. What I'm worried about is him bleeding out before I have a chance to get him. But I do find him. Which, you see how he's glowing red? That's because one of my perks activated. So yeah, you need to remember that. Everybody should be doing that. If you kill 2 people and there's 2 people left, down one of them and then go chase after the other one and down them. Because obviously like I said, if you hook the person who you down first, then the one who's still up and running around can just find hatch and then crawl in it. Or maybe they have a key and they can open it early and both of them can escape. Because a key is an item you get out of a chest. And if they have the key, they just unlock the hatch and get out. So try to make sure that you down the last 2 people and then hook them each individually, because it'll work out in your favor a lot better. I wouldn't use this perk on Ghostface, but there is one called... Is it Thrill of the Hunt? I think it's Thrill of the Hunt, where basically once the doors are open, you can start instant downing people. So yeah, this is going to be the part where I show you guys the... Okay, so I have Thrilling Tremors, which, I'm all ears. And I also have Thrill of the Hunt. That's not the one that I was talking about, and Distressing. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. Later!